Hey everybody, anyone is here, and today we are in my test world, and I am proud to introduce the RAC Media Player version 2.0. Now this is something that I've been asked for a lot in my channel. A couple months ago, maybe even longer than that, I had made a media player that used not only ComputerCraft, but it also used Red Power 2 as well as BuildCraft. And it worked. It was nice, but it was slow. And Red Power 2 isn't updated anymore, and yada, yada, yada. And I was asked a lot for a ComputerCraft only version of this media player. So that's what I have here today. For all of you who don't like video guides on how to install, configure, and use stuff, if you check down the actual description of this video, you'll see a link to the ComputerCraft forums. Inside there, you'll be able to get a nice text description on how all this stuff works. Another thing worth noting is not only does this require ComputerCraft, but it also requires open peripherals and optionally open mods. And open mods optional is for radio support, but you definitely need open peripherals. That is what's going to allow me to read the discs and read the radio and read the disk drive. It allows everything to actually work. So there's two parts of this. There is a computer DJ, which this is what does all the track switching and all that good stuff. And then there is a advanced computer connected to a monitor that does all the front GUI stuff. And both of these two things talk to each other over RedNet. So let's build this real quick, and I could show you guys how this works. So as I said, the first thing we're going to need is a advanced wireless turtle. This advanced wireless turtle is going to work as the DJ. This is what's going to be putting the discs in, taking it out, checking what's there, etc., etc. Next thing you're going to need is a disk drive and a diamond chest. Because I wanted to have optional support for a radio, and the turtle only has 3 places it could suck and drop to, below, above, and in front, you have to put the disk drive and the chest either above or below the turtle. For our purposes, we are going to put the chest on the bottom, and we are going to put the disk drive, not there, we're going to put the disk drive up top. Very cool. Now, if you want support for a radio, which this is completely optional, you could leave this part out or you could add it. It's completely up to you. But if you want a support for a radio, you have to put it in front. It will not work on the sides. It will not work in back. It has to be in front. Cool. Okay, so first thing we want to do is actually download the Turtle's code. You'll be able to get this code down in the description, or you could just look at this right now and copy it over, I guess. It doesn't matter what we name this, but for our purposes, we are going to name this Turtle DJ. Cool. So now there's a couple things we need to edit inside of Turtle DJ. Couple configuration options. So first thing, and as you can see, set variables. There's a couple of variables here to set. First, we have to tell it where the chest is. Our purposes, our chest is on the bottom. Next, we have to tell it where the drive is. Here, the drive is on the top. Next, we need to tell it where the modem is. Now, by default, and I think that's the only way to do it, Turtles always have the modem on the right, so that's already pre-configured. But if you, for some reason, you have a mod that changes it or whatever the case is, you can edit that here. Next is the radio. As I said before, and as it says right here in the code, you cannot change the radio position. It has to stay in the front. So don't change that. Next is the radio crystal. This is the item ID of a radio crystal. And the reason I need this is how the system tells if something in the chest is a radio station and not a music disc. I allow you to change the item ID because I'm not 100% sure if 15254 is just the item ID for a radio station in my mod pack, or if that is the default one. But since it is so important, I definitely made it you available to edit it here. And all you have to do is just pull a radio crystal and just look at what that item ID is and put it right here. Third thing you need, which we can't really configure yet, is the monitor ID. This is the ID of the computer running the monitor. Very straightforward. So we will leave this here for now, and let's get to the computer portion. So the first thing we need is an advanced computer. We need to give it a wireless redstone modem. And now we need to build a advanced monitor. So by default, the minimum size you could build this monitor is 3, I think by 4, 3 by 3, 1, 2, 3. Is it 3 by? I think it's 3 by 4. Yeah, that looks right. So this is the minimum. 3 by 4 is the minimum size you could build a monitor. But if you want something like this, which is 4 by 5, 3 by 5, which is going to be my preferred size, you can just build it there. I mean, you can build this monitor as big as you want. It just has to be at least 3 by 4. So very cool. So now we have the turtle, we have the monitor. We want to get the Pastebin get. We want to get the turtle's code, which you can see from right here. And we are going to name this RMP v2. Very cool. So now we should get that downloaded. Cool. So as I said over here, we need the monitor ID. So this is going to be the ID of the computer running this monitor. So all you have to do is come into here, type ID, and it tells you number 14. So this is going to turn to 14. That's all you need to configure in here. So let's save this and exit out. Something that's always a good idea whenever working with turtles or computers is setting the label. This will allow it not to lose its memory when it's broken. So let's just label set turtle DJ. Very cool. So now this is named turtle DJ. So next thing you need to do is fill up the chest with music discs. Now it seems pretty straightforward, but unfortunately Open Peripherals can read that these are music discs, but it cannot read what track and author is on the music discs. So this is how I've gotten around that. Go to an Anvil, just chuck a music disc in there, and rename it in this format. Author space hyphen space title. Great. So now as you can see, the CD is changed to author dash title. This is going to be what the Turtle DJ reads as the author and track title. Very cool. Just pull that out. And as you can see, I've already done that on all these music discs. It is worth noting for radio stations, you do not need to rename it because by default, the name of this item is the radio station. Very, very cool. So that's easy. Unfortunately, there's no other good way of doing this. I wish there was, but not that big of a deal. Cool. And the reason why we're doing it this way is we want this turtle to always be able to just scan and know what's in the system, not having to do any type of edits, anything else when you want to add more discs. So let's just throw all these jammies in here right now. It doesn't matter what the order is or any of that good stuff. And put that in there. Cool. So now this turtle is all configured. So we will start the turtle DJ script. Once we start it, it'll tell us that it started up. And that's it. You can see the Redstone RedNet wireless modem is active, and this is ready to go. Now we have to edit a couple things inside of here. So let's get into edit, RMP v2. So first we need to tell it which side the modem is on, and it is the right side. That's where we already put it. The monitor is on the left. We also have to tell it here what the item ID of the radio crystal is, just to make 100% sure, and we have to tell it the ID of the turtle. So just like on the computer, let's stop this for a second. Just like on the computer, we have to go in here, type ID. This tells us it's number 13. Let's start that back up and change that. Cool. Now that is all you need to do to set this up. So let's make this a little bit bigger because I just like... You know what? We'll make it bigger once we start it. So, now that all that stuff is done, we should be able to just start this up. It will connect to the turtle, and boom, loaded all the tracks that we have in there. Very, very cool. And as I said before, this supports multiple monitor sizes. Actually, first thing noticed is I had to use a very convoluted way to try to... center all these tasks and make this look nice. So for some reason there's a bug in this. I don't know if this is a bug in ComputerCraft or in my code. I'm thinking it's probably a bug in my code, but as you can see, when you first load this up for the first time, these buttons aren't spaced out right. And no matter what you do, many times you scan it, it doesn't show up right. But if you make the screen just a little bigger and then break it and then scan again, it didn't actually work. Hold on. Make it a little bigger. Scan, and as you can see now everything's centered itself out. Now I think if we remove this and scan again, there you go, it's centered. There must be a bug in my program. I don't think it's a ComputerCraft thing, but it is worth noting. So let's make this a little bigger because, again, I like a little bigger. When you want to refresh either the tracks that are in here or the screen size, you hit scan. It will come back to this turtle, ask it to scan, and this will reply back with all the tracks in there. Very, very cool. Now, in order to play music, it's as easy as pressing the song you want to play. It tells you it's loaded, and it plays the song. Very cool if you want to listen to something else. And worth noting, you could see the button went away. So Want You Gone is no longer in this chest. So there's no longer a button for it. Once you eject it out of here, once it's ejected, as you can see, it's telling you to eject the track. It is back. Very, very cool. I like it. So this has a couple features that might not be as intuitive as I was hoped for it to be. So the first thing is we will start back up Want You Gone, just to pick something. If you just want to stop it without unloading it, ejecting it, you can just hit stop. It leaves it inside of there, and it also tells you up here what's in there. One thing that's really cool is no matter how many times you start this, and RMP v2, if there's a music disc in there, it will tell you it's currently loaded. One thing that ComputerCraft is not able to do, which is kind of saddening, but there's really nothing they can do about it without trying to rewrite the whole music API, is it can't tell if this disk drive is actually playing music or not. So what that means is I can't do a now playing. I'm unable to do any type of random or loop or playlist features because all of those would need to detect when the music stopped playing. And unfortunately, I can't do that. But if you start this up with a disk in the disk drive, it will tell you right up here there's something currently loaded. And as I said before, the button won't show up there. So you can just hit play if you want to listen to it or stop if you want to stop it. And then eject when you are done with it. Very, very cool. Whenever you want to add a new disk, let's just grab one of these. These are all named something different, just so I had more disks to play with. If you ever want to add a new disk, you just throw something into there and hit scan. It will update, and now that new disk is there. This tries to be smart by the way it groups the titles. So let's just grab a bunch of these out of here. So as you can see, the artists on all of these are any-oneers, if you look at the name of it. And we'll put this in here. And now when I scan, all the tracks with the artist any-oneers is right together. All of the Portal ones are together. And all of the default Minecraft ones are together in alphabetical order. Very cool. The one little bug that I have in here is radios, since they don't actually have an author, they get sorted by the name of the station. So they might get peppered through your list of buttons here. So as you can see, this is down here because the author of this is C418, so that came first, then Cinemix, which would be the next letter in the alphabet, then the next author, and so on and so forth. So like I said, this also has support for the radio. So if you want support for radio, just drop a radio here, throw the crystals right there, and then you could just press the it will show up as a button. Click that, shows you it was loading radio station. And there you go. Now you're playing the radio. Now, what you'll also see right here is a volume up and down. It is worth noting that this volume up and down only works for the radio. It does not work for the music disc. Again, that is, it's not a bug. It's a feature that ComputerCraft was not able to incorporate into this system. So it cannot lower the volume or higher the volume on a music disc. But as you can see, it does work. Very, very cool. I don't want to leave that playing for too long because I don't know if that's licensed music. And as you can see, as always, it shows you that Cinemix is loaded. So we can just eject that, and it pulls it out of there, puts it back into this chest. I tried to make this thing as smart as I possibly can. So for instance, let's stop this for a second, and we will stop this. If, let's say, you try to run this without a turtle there, it will start trying to check for the turtle, and once the turtle comes up, it will then load up. Very cool. This will only check 3 times, and if it fails after the 3rd try, it will just fail. Another thing worth noticing is if this turtle stops mid-use, and let's say I want to play Still Alive, it tries to play the track, and after about, I don't remember where I made the timeout, 5 seconds or so, it times out and tells you, asking you, is the turtle alive? So if you ever see this message, that means it cannot communicate with the turtle. All you have to do is just give this a quick kickstart, and now it should work. Oh, that was weird. Oh, there must have been something already in there. Sorry. Let's get that back there. I guess that's a little bug that I'm going to have to work out, but I'll get that working. So you can just hit want you gone, and it should not play. Why isn't it playing? Hold on. Sorry about that. There's a little bug in the code that if this got stuck on any other position but the first, it never reset itself, so I fixed that. Everything should be good now again. Very cool. So, one more thing that I did want to point out that is it's important enough if you want to use this as just a media player. You're going to want to set your startup script, edit startup, to run these. So every time it reboots, RMPv2, every time it reboots, it will just start up these scripts. So you don't have to manually start it every time. Now, you can very easily incorporate this into your own program. And I believe in the next version, I am going to add built-in support for that. But it would be very, very easy for anybody who writes their own programs to do. But if you just want to use this as a ComputerCraft Turtle DJ media player, just add these two commands shall run the script name on both of them. And then when you restart your computer, it will always start up, and every time you load your world, it will always show up. Very, very, very cool. Look at that. Cool. So that is pretty much it for the RAC Media Player version 2.0. If you have any questions, suggestions, comments, find bugs, anything, please leave a comment in the description or leave a comment in the forum post. And that's it for now. I hope you guys enjoy this, and I'll see you next time.